More proofs.
Same thing.
These are, is that sarcastic or no? I don't know.
No.
These are the same ones you saw on your homework, so they shouldn't be hard. It's just a matter of like remembering what to do. Here in this case, our given is way too big to squeeze into that box, so we're just going to draw an arrow and then cross it off down here. And they already labeled it given. Then the next statement, it says that AC is congruent to CE and BC is congruent to CD, which makes sense because it did say C is the midpoint, so that's definition of midpoint. Then it says AE is equal to BD in length. That's definition of congruent segments. Next, the reason is segment addition postulate. That means that AC plus CE equals AE and BC plus CD equals BD. I'm not going to be able to fit that in the box. It is this one right here, so I'm just going to draw an arrow up here. Then they're going to use substitution on the next two steps. On step G, it says simplify. What they're doing is, since there's two ACs, they're going to rewrite it as 2AC plus 2 or equals 2 CD. Then from there, divide both sides by 2 to get AC equals CD. And then turning it into a congruent statement, definition of congruent segments. Okay, moving down to number 4. It says 1 and 2 form a linear pair, and 1 is congruent to 3. So you know what, I'm just going to draw an arrow for that one. There's our given, reason, given, cross that out. This is where some people got confused on the homework, and I can see why. On the homework, we said if 1 and 2 are a linear pair, they are supplementary, and we called that the supplement theorem. Here they're calling that linear pair postulate. And you'll notice, or I've noticed as I look at different resources in geometry, sometimes they do term it different things. But if you understand what a linear pair is, it's when two angles come together to form a straight line. It means that those angles are supplementary. You can figure out that that's what they're looking for there. Then, since 1 and 2 are supplementary, that must mean they add to 180 degrees. That's definition of supplementary angles. So measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 2 equals 180 degrees. Then it says measure of angle 1 equals measure of angle 3. Well, it did say that they are congruent, so therefore they must be the same measure. Definition of congruent angles. Next, what they do is they take this measure of angle 3 and plug it in for measure of angle 1 here. That's substitution. Now they have that measure of angle 3 plus measure of angle 2 is 180 degrees, and they're trying to prove that angle 2 and angle 3 are supplementary. So angle 2 and angle 3 are supplementary, put that there. And the reason is definition of supplementary angles. If they're add to 180, then they must be supplementary. Am I working at a good pace? Do you want me to speed up? Okay. I don't want to bore you guys to tears either. Okay, next one. They already plugged the given in, we just need to label it given. They're saying LK is congruent to NM and KJ is congruent to MJ. Then they're saying that they are the same length. Definition of congruent segments. Cross that out. Now they say that LK plus KJ is equal to NM plus MJ. They're making a bit of a jump, but it's addition, property of equality. I feel like we could have put in a few postulates to get to that point. And then segment addition postulate, that means that NM plus MJ is equal to the entire thing, and LK plus KJ is equal to the entire thing. So that's this one right here. And then they use substitution. And then they turn it into a congruent statement. Definition of congruent segments. If you're the type of person that likes to print this out again and practice from scratch, you can print it out from Schoology as well if that helps you study. And then next. Okay, given. This one's a little bit of an easier one, plus the words fit in the boxes a little bit better. Our given is just PA equals LN. And that's given. And then it says PL plus LA equals PA. That is segment addition postulate. And then LA plus AN equals LN. Again, segment addition postulate. Then we have this statement here. Since PA equals LN and this equals PA and this equals LN, they substituted those expressions out for the original. That is substitution. Would it be helpful if I opened up the homework so you could practice it in that format? It would be, or not? Some of your
that would be great.
Would that be helpful? Okay. I'll go ahead. Last week's like Thursday, Friday homework, I'll open it in case you want to practice it again in this format. Then from here, they subtract LA from both sides, and we get PL equals AN. And that is subtraction property. Almost done, 2 more. Did you get it? Next. Okay. Just quickly plugging in given. It says 1 and 3 are complementary, 2 and 3 are complementary. Complementary means that they add to 90 degrees, and that's what they show here. So the reason why angle 1 plus angle 3 is 90 is definition of complementary angles. Then we have this statement equals this one. Well, they use substitution. Since they both equaled 90, they put them equal to each other using substitution. Then to plug this, it says reflexive property from the answer bank. The only thing that makes sense is this, which is the reflexive property. Measure of angle 3 equals measure of angle 3. Then to get here, they subtract measure of angle 3 from both sides to get measure of angle 1 equals measure of angle 2. So that is subtraction property. And then we have angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. So they're just turning it into a congruent statement. Definition of congruent angles. Last but not least, number 3, it says BD bisects ABC. When you have an angle bisector, it means that this angle and this angle are the same measure. It's bisecting it, splitting exactly in half. So let's keep that in mind as we go through. Plugging it in, BD bisects angle ABC. Then they're saying angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Yes, because of that bisector. So that is definition of angle bisector. Then angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. The reason why they are congruent is because they're vertical angles. So that's vertical angle theorem. And then last but not least, we have our proof statement. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. If 1 is congruent to 2 and 1 is congruent to 3, then 2 must be congruent to 3. And that is transitive property. And that's it. Okay, so what we're going to do now, this you will keep until tomorrow, and then you'll turn in right before the test, and I'll check it during the test and give you credit for doing this. So I want you to take it home, study it. I'll also open up those homeworks from last week, so that way if you want to practice the drag and drop, which is exactly how it'll be on the test, then you can practice that. For the last 20 minutes of class, I'm going to give you this time to get your Chapter 2 notes submitted. Last time I had you submit notes and workbooks separate, and I realized that a lot of students just preferred submitting like one submission with their notes and workbook. So that's how we're going to do it this time. It does need to be submitted as a PDF. If you need help with that, I will help you. But you're going to get your phones and use that to submit your notes and workbook pages. Okay? Okay, so you can get your phones and then start submitting your notes and workbook pages.